Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Present with us is the treasurer, Terry Coates. Terry, you want to lead us on, please?
We have no report ready for June for many reasons. It's not just the fact that people keep filing expenses 15 days after the clerk and recorder's finance group has asked them to turn them in. Okay, that's my one jive for that. That's not on Ginger or the finance team, but I think that it's irresponsible of these departments not to pay attention to those requests for those reports, but that's up to you guys to deal with that part. So when you're trying to balance, if the cash report is a moving target, you can't balance.
Right.
So not anybody's fault in this particular group, but you can't finish the process. So until we're done paying claims out of June of 25, we can't finish that process. So because of that, because we couldn't finish, I took 2 ACHs that were paid in July, but they're technically for expenses in 25. And I've pushed them back into June so that we could offset some of those expenses for DES is one of them. For a fire that Jeff was on, we got money yesterday. So I posted it back into the June cycle and we'll carry it in July as a outstanding deposit. There's 2 of them that did that, Hilger and Jefferson City Volunteer Fire Department got paid for a grant that they had expected in May. We got that yesterday. So I pushed that one back into June to offset those expenses for them, since I was doing the other one anyway. So we'll carry that over. So we don't have a report. I can certainly schedule a new meeting, maybe at the end of July, or we'll just add it into August, whatever that looks like. And I will notify you as soon as we're at that spot, and I can send you those reports when we get that.
My
So-
question would be, what's the solution to this? Is there one, or is it
Cut 'em off.
just something that we can't fix?
I mean, yeah, we cut them off, like I said, today. Between Francis and I, and what I told Terry last week is today should be the last day for claims coming out. But as long as she still has her stuff going, then I'm like, I might as well pay the claims out of that.
Right.
But as soon as she shuts down, we have to shut down and then we just accrue them. But there's been years where it's gone, I think even the last Tuesday in July, we paid out of June. So, and you know, like some of the claims that came in this week, it's,
But they're a lot of money. It's not just small amount.
well, and some of it too, though, was like our SRS payment that we had to do last week. That was $11,000. And that even won't be settled for 2 weeks because the stupid
But
system.
yeah.
But, it's just every year, it's just a moving target
So
because,
there's really no fix to it.
no, I mean, yeah, we cut
Some
'em-
of it anyway.
Yeah, we cut them off, but when they start building up so much, it's like, okay, it's actually easier on us to do it in
Right.
that.
And that's why I said,
So-
I'm not blaming anybody, but sometimes I think that there are department heads that don't understand what that year-end process looks like, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we have an instruction, and maybe it won't change at all. So when I came here, people would bring in deposits for the previous month, all the way to the end of the next month. It's like, no. So I set a rule that if you don't have your stuff here by the 5th day of the new month, I'm not posting it. So that's like with the sheriff's department. I'm talking about civil mostly. Civil and the courts. So I cut them off and now they get them to me. And if they don't have them to me, then they're gonna have to book them in the next month. But those are payments. I mean, those are
Revenue.
collections, revenue, thank you.
Revenue.
But unfortunately for Ginger, sometimes she gets a lot of payments out, expenses out for the previous year.
Mhm.
And that makes it hard on everybody, but I don't know how to, there probably isn't any way to fix that, Craig, except for to say that most of your crap needs to be here.
And if today.
Well, and I think some of it we can fix it, maybe not the things like the SRS
No,
stuff,
that was a
maybe
different
not
deal.
like,
Mhm,
but as far as if they're just not doing their claims in time,
mhm.
we can fix that,
Well,
in my opinion.
like some of the ones that came in this week, I know that they didn't get them until. I
So
mean,
should they be paying them out of 25, or does it
For the ship.
matter?
It's really kind of a case by case thing, like if it's material or not.
Oh,
So, you know, every year we talk about this with John Paul, like, how do we fix this? How do we stop it? You know, and it's until she's ready to cut off the cash, then, like I said, it's sometimes easier for
We're
us
ready.
to do that. And I think today being, what is today, the 14th?
Yeah.
15th,
actually.
the 15th. I think that's actually, if we can cut it off today, it's probably the best that's been in years.
I agree. I
If we cut
totally
it off today,
Yeah,
yeah,
Ginger's been very diligent about saying, you guys have to have this stuff, you have
So-
to have this stuff. But I just wonder how many times she has to beat her head against the wall to,
yeah, so,
and maybe, I don't know if it's a solution or not, but maybe next year in
April or
towards the
May.
end of April or the middle of May somewhere, we have a department head and a public and an elected official meeting and just say,
mhm,
this is the date.
mhm.
If you have something that you've done already that you are going to get revenue in,
Get
or
it
you're gonna
done.
pay out,
Mhm.
you need to let Ginger know, because this affects the whole process.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was doing with
You-
my
you
email.
did, You did, I've seen it.
Well, I've seen the emails, but I wonder.
But
I
yeah, an
wonder too, maybe
in-person,
some-
an in-person discussion.
But I
Well,
think
then-
just something that says, this is a drop dead date, guys. Unless there's some special
But then
circumstance.
like yesterday, I got $16,000 in charges for central shop amongst
That's
their,
the one that bothered me, because why wouldn't they know that?
yeah,
Yeah, and unless it's an emergency, maybe they don't do that till the new budget year.
But I don't know that people understand that. And no complaints. I don't know that they understand that it's not like your checkbook. Right? It's the budget checkbook.
yeah.
So
There's a
our
line in
ending
the
balances
sand there.
affect what your new budget, how that new budget is created. And if you're holding stuff because you just can't get around to making a claim form, I would rather you call me and I'll help you fill out a claim form than for Ginger to get it on July 15th. Cause it's,
Cause I'm sure in the 20 years I did it. I'm sure that I did.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
I'm sure they do. Maybe they don't
yeah.
realize it. I don't
No,
know.
every department does, they do it, you know, in the
So-
first couple weeks, it's fine. Or the first week, it's fine, and that's where we're at, I think, honestly, it's
is
annoying
bad.
for us, and I don't know how Terry feels, but I feel like I've been in July for 6 months already. But when I think about it, we're halfway through the month, we're actually pretty good. I mean,
yeah,
you usually
I
balance,
don't have any complaints.
you
I just-
usually balance around the 8th or 9th
Yeah.
or whatever, and you know, we're a couple days
Well,
past
and
that.
this year I
not
have a
terrible.
school with a big issue with their software.
Mhm.
So, I am going to today manually enter all of their claims and all their payroll for June. Because it won't roll right. It's kind of a pain in the neck, but I would rather do that than wait for IT to figure it out. Cause it could be another 2 or 3 weeks. So that's what my job is today, and if we get those other claims in today, then we can work on, cause I cannot balance with all those schools, with all the schools being in the cycle, so. So I do have that issue, and I've been begging her for over a week. Unfortunately, she's on medical leave, so she's been kind of dragging her feet too, but she sent me all of her reports that still won't. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna manually enter everything. Then I'm gonna send it back to you, make sure that it looks right. And then I'll
We can
balance,
move
so,
on with our lives.
so that I can move forward, otherwise I just can't get it done. So, it'll be a lot, because unfortunately, the schools do 3 payrolls in June each. For June, July, and August. So it's a lot, but it's okay. Well, that's all I'm gonna focus on today and, when I get back over there. So that's it with that. I think we'll be able to close probably by the 20th. I would say that by the 20th or this Friday or Monday. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and create my reports and I'll email them to you, and then you'll have them, and then Helen will have them, and then we'll talk about them in August unless there's something big, and then but I don't think there will be. I have a $60 invoice on my desk right now. It's not due till July 30th, but I'm not submitting it for June expenses because I always have a couple of newspaper notices, bills that float like that. And I just rather credit it to the new tax year, and then the next one will be the same new tax year. So we'll be good.
Yeah, so some things like that, like utilities, most of the utilities we get right at the beginning of the month, Northwestern and all that, water bills. So those ones, we get those in time, we can put them back. But then other little, like if it's supplies and stuff, then, we don't really pay attention. It can go in the new year. But when it's under professional services, that's kind of what brings up the auditors because. And it's very annoying, but when the work was done is when it has to be paid. So that's kind of, like Stephanie said last week, I have some for June and I went through every single one of them and I'm like, okay, this is something that I can hear the auditor saying this should be either put in June or accrued. And it's like, well, as long as we still have June open, let's just
Yeah.
get it in there.
Right.
But it's, no, I think we're just communicating constantly about it. So we're on the same page. So when it comes down to that final cutoff, we should be good and not have any issues with that.
I don't think there's an issue balancing it. I just can't get it done today, the way things are. And like I said, as long as they're open, I back posted those two things against those two departments. Expenses on purpose, and that's okay, because we can carry an outstanding deposit. That's easy. That's like an easy thing to do. So, I got that batch closed and posted yesterday. Okay, I need to know an update on what we're doing with RMDs, because I really need to have any changes we're making at or before September 5th,
Steve's supposed to be back. I don't know, this week.
because I know you have to have a 30-day notice period to the public first. Is it 30?
We gotta send notices out to people, so I'm not sure what
It is a
that,
few weeks. I think they have 3 that they're working on.
right.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because I know I'm getting calls because some, and we've talked about this before. Some folks are not happy that they're paying the full brunt. And then there's new houses been up there for 3 or 4 years that aren't paying anything on that road.
Yep, and those
So
are the
we
ones
need
that-
to,
That's the ones we're working on.
so I realize that it's July 15th, and I'm worried about that window of time. I can push it to adding them in October. It just makes it a little more stressful. So if I tell you September 5th and you still don't get them by 25th, I can live with it. I want to make sure Steve understands there's a window of time that has to be met. I know by law, and
Can you email me that date with an explanation so I'd give me a little ammunition?
I'll be in the treasurer's conference from the September 8th. So I won't be able to do anything that month. So maybe I'll just give you the date, the 15th of September, and then when I come back, I can do them. It's just that you got to update the whole system and then roll that into the tax system before we can create those tax bills.
And you need that resolution
I need a resolution to
by
do
that
that.
time,
Yeah.
to the end of the process.
Yeah, I've got
Okay.
one now that Ginger kindly sent to me because I apparently lost it, is Balsamic Ridge. I've built that. Is it balsamic? Am I saying it?
Balsam.
well? Oh, thank you.
Or is it
balsam root?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I think it's Balsam root.
Anyway, that one's built and sitting, that's one's waiting to go. But if you have 3 that are big ones that have to have the changes, I need some time to do that, that's
Yeah.
all. Okay, so Department of Revenue has updated some codes, which they said they'll download for us, so that's good. I know that there'll be one new change with the, Ash Grove. Industrial changes, so that's an easy thing to do. I've done it twice before, so I'm not worried about that. That'll only take a day or 2. So they've done that. I have 30 changes on my desk for a communications company that DOR made an error on.
Mhm.
So I haven't focused on those right now. Their personal property, those folks know they're not paying the old bill because they get a 30-day new bill, so I'm just kind of, as soon as I can finish with the schools and the balancing, I'll put that back on. We have not had a settlement or a court case filed with Ash Grove on their protest. So, and we're at the 70-day mark, so as far as I'm concerned, in July, I'm going to release it. Ash Grove has got to do their diligence. And worst case scenario is DOR makes some changes and then we have to do some other things. So I think that's pretty normal. So I'm not gonna but they do have 90-day window to file in the court or to file something, and I have not had any response. I don't know if they realize that, but I'm not calling them, telling them. Because it's written right out there on the whole form, so they should know. So then we'll get those released. So the RMD thing was one of the biggest things I think that we have to do.
So it's Meadowlark, Moonlight Ridge and Baumhart City Lights this year. So Meadowlark would probably, that's a big. pretty
Meadowlark's the
one.
big one. Meadowlark and Destiny Hills is not on that list.
No, because their RMD is basically illegal.
Oh.
So,
Because those are the ones that people that get the biggest complaints from.
well, I live there and it's stupid because they haven't called me at all, but.
Oh, right?
But anyways, it's illegal because the law says that the fee is supposed to be split evenly between everybody that uses the road. Well, when they set it up, they didn't do it that way because there was some complainers that only used this much of the road. So they got a partial thing set up.
Okay.
But that's against the
But they
law.
can't do that.
Yeah,
But we
And
did an
so-
open meeting on that, like,
Okay.
was that 4 or 5 years ago? There was an open meeting about that and Steve agreed to leave it alone. So I don't know if you can change it.
that's why that's not up
Oh,
for
that's good,
review,
yeah.
because
He was saying.
how do we follow the law to change it when
probably
it's not
did.
in compliance with it?
Maybe we should take him out.
I don't remember seeing.
Well, that's what I would tell Bruce if he would call me, but. Because we don't need the county to, it'd be so much easier if those districts just did it on their own.
It-
Instead
You
of
did
going
say
through the
Moonlight
county.
Ridge is one of them, right? That's a small one. I think there's like
Moonlight Ridge
four,
is,
five.
no, Moonlight Ridge is like 15. That's the one that.
Is that what it-
That road, we loaned them money to do the road, isn't it, Moonlight?
Moonlight's the one that has a subdivision next to it or hooked to it that they've never had any money for.
Oh, that's good.
Chuck,
That's,
Chuck Cashel was his name.
There's
He
also one,
calls to remind me.
there's one. Gotta look for
And I
that.
told him, that's fine. I'll ask about it, so.
So that's the problem with like, I think you're thinking of Big Sky Acres.
I'm thinking we're, Meadow Lark. I get that confused
Oh,
because Meadow Lark has the same thing, right? There's
Compounding
Songbird and
subdivision.
something else up here at the top. So these folks use Meadow Larks. But inside their own ones, it's not RMD, so basically RMD ends here. And any snow plan or road maintenance has to be done by those residents, but they do not have RMDs. So, but they're paying on this one, because they drive through that to get to those. So that's.
I think there's
Meadow
lots of
Lark.
them like that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm sure that Chuck's is the same deal that you're talking
Well,
about.
it's Moonlight Ridge and then they did another subdivision and they used Meadowlark to access their subdivision. But Meadowlark hasn't received any money from
Moonlight.
any of,
Yeah, because.
or Moonlight, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be because Bud Sideritz, when he did that Meadowlark one, and then he talked to Songbird and.
Sentinel Ridge or something.
Thank you, Sentinel. They ended up agreeing in some type of resolution, and I have copies of those. in
What's
case you
that?
do those too. Where they're on their own up here, but they're still paying through here, so it probably needs to be the same thing with Chuck's deal.
And there's, he said it's been like 5 years.
But I think it was up to them to start that process, isn't it? Isn't that what?
Yeah, they have,
Mark had to do?
they have to do it themselves and get so much percentage of the owners and,
Of those
Um,
other two,
yeah.
or whatever you got above it.
But
Not
yeah,
to-
if they can't figure out themselves
Not for
amongst their
them, not
neighbors.
for the other subdivision.
But it's up to the people that have the road they're going through to start that process to get those folks to buy into paying the RMD, buy into the RMD to get up there.
Beyond that.
I think
Beyond
that's
the
how it
other
ended up
RMD.
being with the Meadowlark, was that Bud had to be the agitator, so to speak, to go to those other two places and say, hey, you're using our road, and here's the petition, and blah, blah, blah. And then they had to sign, get a percentage, and then we did a resolution, which is on file with the clerk recorder now.
When we
I
Mhm.
have all those notes, so I can send them to you.
okayed those subdivisions, we put in there that they had no right to to say no to the LMD essentially.
Oh, that's right.
Because
That's
Chuck
right.
keeps telling me
Can't
that,
remember the term for that, but.
that the county
they-
attorney's
they could
office
not
has
be
all
part
of this.
as
It's
part
just
of the
never been
subdivision.
done.
Really?
And it's been there for like 5 years is what he's telling me.
Well, then we need to pull that from Steve and have him take a look at it.
So and I'll ask Steve about it.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about those other subdivisions in there, but I think, I remember now Corey's right. When those two other subdivisions were developed, they had to agree to pay the RMD to get up to their
To be
places.
put into that RMD,
Yeah.
they couldn't protest that.
So that kind of solved
And I
that
think,
issue.
because there's a new one that I think is in the preliminary stages. It's not a subdivision yet, and nothing's been submitted. But that's the concern with Moonlight, is that they're gonna do the same thing and they're never gonna get any money for the
I
road.
think Ladana's more aware of that stuff now. I mean, we could certainly, when that comes up, we need to have Ladana.
And I
address it.
talked to her about it
Yeah,
before.
because I think certainly that she's aware of how that is now. Yeah. I can certainly talk to Bruce about what the other one, though. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. And Chuck will not let it go.
No,
He's a good man and he wants what's best for the people. And, you know, he was the union leader for a long time up there at the mine. And so he knows how to follow through, in my opinion. I've seen him work other stuff before.
I talk to him pretty regular.
Yeah, he calls me quite a bit, but his wife owns Just Tapped in town. So
Just what?
Just Tapped, the oil and vinegar place.
Oh,
And she's a pretty good businesswoman, but also that's a good partner. So, okay, so that was that. Otherwise, I think we're okay. We'll get that balancing done, the schools, okay. So I have posted the interest for June for the Edward Jones ones for the White House schools. And so I do have an entry sitting in my queue to pull that money out. And then we'll send her a new updated cash report, because I suspect what's gonna happen is Alyssa's gonna call me and say, you can't take that $300,000 out. And I would say, I certainly can, because you have that money and I don't. So I'm sure that's gonna be a discussion, because I don't know that she understands why we are carrying it on our cash reports. Because it's a fund that we have to watch and monitor, that's why it's there. And then once we're, make sure all the schools balance, I'm just gonna write them a check for the rest of the funds, and then we'll post whatever comes in July and send that money out as well. So I think that's where we are with that. I've had a discussion with OPI about setting up an additional fund for Basin School. So I'll get that set up as soon as I know exactly what's happening. I don't know if you guys saw the video from their meeting last week.
we
It's
heard it
pretty
was eventful.
horrific. It's very sad. Other people I talk to say, like, when you have a community school, everybody should participate in supporting the community school. Now, when it's closing, all these people are showing up. I
Right.
mean, where were they before? I don't know. My opinion, I should not even say all out. But if you see the video, you're like, what in the world is, and there's people there that they're part-time residents, they're not even, anyway. And they're kind of abusive to Sarah too, but that's beside the point. So if you want to see the video, Steve's got it, because he's monitoring it from a legal standpoint. So we got that fund set up. And that's it. I think we're good. We're waiting on a few other things, and we should be good for July,
Good deal. Good.
I think.
You think?
I'm
Should be
hoping,
good.
I don't have any plans to be gone, except for that I really need to probably right after August 5th, right after we balance July. Just take a few days and not answer the phone, because I know
Get your mind right.
yeah, I need to take a break, but I can't go on a 3-week fishing trip, but I can turn the phone off for 3 or 4 days. at home. But,
The staycation, that's what they call those.
well, just something where, you know,
And sometimes they're better than going somewhere.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you turn your phone off.
so, anyway, but I'll let you know when I intend to be.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Thank
anything
you,
else
Terry.
that we know about, or we don't know about?
Probably lots
Teacher?
we don't know about.
Anything you need me to do?
Nope, we got the Board of Investments amortization schedules for intercap loans today, so get those plugged in now. That was something I was waiting for.
Well, and it's that, I should have mentioned that, so the intercap loan things, I got them all for the counties and for the fire departments. And all the interest rates dropped to 5%. They were 5.75. They all dropped to 5. So that's really good. But then what that does do is affects how your interest rate is on the other side. So it may go down probably a point, but it's been at 4 point something for 4.6 for the last couple of months. So even if it's at 3 point something, we're still ahead. We're still gonna make good interest, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, I haven't plugged interest revenue in yet. Terry did give me your projections for it, but I don't know if we should look at that. Maybe a
Yeah,
little
now,
bit
now that
lower.
I know that the interest rate's probably, because when you lower an interest rate on the loan side, it usually lowers on the other side, so
It'll catch up.
I haven't seen that part yet, but I'm assuming, I have to assume that it's gonna go down in my experience.
Yeah, it's a guessy game every year with what we plug in.
It's
but
always a guess.
Mhm.
It's been on our side the past couple of years because interest rates were so high, but that's not gonna last forever.
Right, and I'm
I
very,
know.
I'm very proud that we have investments, and I realize it's only 7 million of the total. But, that are lasting out to 5 years, that are between 4 and 4.5%, so we should be. Those interest money should average between $20,000 and $30,000 in interest a month. But when those all mature, whoever's left sitting at this table will have to make sure that we're reinvesting in whatever product at that point is. Brings us in some good money, but I mean, I can't predict the economy for the next few years. but I don't intend to be sitting at this table in 5 years, so unless you need me as a consultant, but don't, no, I'm gonna take my granddaughter and take her fishing in Europe or someplace.
There you go.
Maybe Ginger will go too, so who knows? And grandson. So anyway, so I think that our interest should be fairly stable at least the next year. Maybe 2,
We'll see.
we'll see, but those things are locked. Those things are locked in for 2 to 5 years, so and we have renewed CDs down at Valley Bank in Whitehall that I just renegotiated at 3.5. So it's a short term, it's only 18 months, but it gives us something. That's $1.5 million. So I have 2 properties going to tax deed unless some miracle happens. So I will have to have an auctioneer available mid-September. I don't want to do that. I really would like them to fix it. Donna Worth has applied with the state of Montana to help her offset her taxes. The other guy just won't return calls, so I don't. He's
Put into the county.
so that one guy's in Warm Springs, Clancy. He heard it from his dad. He hadn't paid the taxes in 4 years.
Doesn't live up there.
I'm assuming he does. I talked to Sharman.
Hayworth.
Yeah. I talked to
Into the
Sherman
stuff.
and he called her, or somebody called him, a realtor called him and said that he wanted to put it up for sale because the taxes are behind. If you got a house that's worth a lot of money like that, it'd be cheaper to pay the taxes, but take a home equity loan or something, but he will not return a call. I've sent letters. I don't know.
What's
Kayla,
the
the only
name?
one doing civil right now? Sherry's out, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
She is, and then, she's been on calls for evidence stuff and, personally, she's handling it just fine, but I think she's got a lot. She's very overwhelmed. But she doesn't complain. and she doesn't show it except for every now and then you can see it crack. Like last night, she got home like 7:30 or 8, and she was on something in Basin collecting evidence, so but it's okay, but I don't know, and I guess the question is Gary gonna come back? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to take that off. So that's it for the moment, gentlemen.
All right,
You've got my budget.
good to end the meeting.
We are adjourned, and then I'll be in contact.